I believe we are officially live. It's not like anybody comes this early in the show anyway. But today's one of those shows. We've got the fallout from the Royal Rumble. And of course, we got a very special guest with us. Not just any guy. The guy right after this.
Houston, we have a problem.
Yes!
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We are back once again. The Good Brothers have shown up to sit down and discuss the most extreme topics in all of professional wrestling. And this week, it most happens to be about the Royal Rumble 2003. Gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm NOW podcast. How are you?
2023.
What did I say? 2003?
2003. Yeah.
It's too late. We have to stop recording these shows this late. Royal Rumble.
You just set us back 20 years. All right, we can go back 20 years.
If I could go back 20 years, that probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Bro, this would be
Imagine
a
if we
retro
was doing
show.
this. Imagine if we was doing this 20 years ago and like nobody else was doing this.
Bro,
and
did
then,
they have
like,
the technology 20 years ago
that,
to do this?
that ain't the point, but like if
Just-
we
just
was,
say
We'd
it
be
in
at the
general.
wrestling show, we
Yeah,
selling the tapes. We'd be
it's
selling
just-
the videos.
yeah, we was like, or we would be on like an AM station. We'd be ahead of the game. By the
That
time
would be
we
tough
get,
though if we recorded this like mini DV.
yeah,
Like, set up the camcorder, no edits, no cuts, just straight through. Like we used to
So
old
here
school
we
style.
selling mixed CDs at the flea market. Here you go. This is the wrestling show. Here,
yo, just check out my show, bro. Just check out my show. Handing them
Come
out,
on
yo. Want to
3 for
support me?
10. 3 for 10. Come on, I got you.
Yo, they stay like that at East Point Mall, yo.
Oh,
Have a red TV and all.
East Point Mall was notorious for that though. They were
Yep.
the worst. Like,
Yo,
always
you want to
somebody.
support my music, son? You want to support my music, man? Just $1,
I got
just
these
$1.
movies.
Check out.
I got
I'm the
these
new
movies.
hot artist.
All
Definitely
new
the
stuff.
movies.
now the thing is, bro, you can't support. I got Cash App. You like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
Cash. I got Cash App. You be like,
Is it Cash App?
Yo,
Yo, I'll take it anyway.
A
PayPal.
kid got me like that one time with some cookies at Northeast Market. You want to buy some cookies? I'm like, man, I ain't got no cash. I got Cash App.
Yeah,
You know what? Let me-
okay, I got you. What
You
Cash
got
App?
me.
Come on.
Mhm.
But brothers, we are here tonight to discuss the 2023. See, brother Brandon, I said it right this time. Royal Rumble. But not only are we here to talk about the Royal Rumble, we're here to talk about, in case you haven't noticed, the Cody Rhodes era has begun. That's right, brothers. It is upon us. And we have to do what the realm does best. We have to dissect what we saw. We have to help others understand what they watched.
Mhm.
And then we can give our, personal feedback and opinion about it, because that's the fun part of the conversation. So definitely join us in the chat as we start logging in, as people start to recognize that we are on and the shenanigans have begun. But before we even get into it, like I said, welcome, of course, good brother, reoccurring guest, not even really a guest, just reoccurring member of the Wrestling Wrealm, brother Brandon,
Right.
to the Wrestling Wrealm. But before we start, we might as well get into logistics. Now, my iPad is not working today, so I got it on my phone. It's a little bit smaller, but I'm going to go for it right now. Welcome to the Wrestling Wrealm Now podcast, where we take a deeper dive into the world of professional wrestling. Now, you can watch our flagship show, The Wrestling Wrealm, and other shows anytime on youtube.com/The Wrestling Wrealm, where myself, the real Dwayne Allen, Brian H. Waters, Brother Hugh, and sometimes and soon to come, Brother Brandon Guy, the guy, explore many topics and try to educate and give fans a different perspective on the many different aspects and things in the world of professional wrestling. I am your host, the realness himself, the real Dwayne Allen. He's your host. Brian H. Waters, he is your host. Brother Hugh has the third, H to the A to the S, T to the H to the E, 3 to the R to the D, has the third. And he is your host, Brother Brandon Guy. Not just any guy, the guy. Brandon, the guy. You can follow us on all social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Wrestling Wrealm. 2 W's. Like, subscribe, and engage in the conversation with us. You can also stream and download all of our audio content on Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. You can watch us and subscribe to our Twitch channel at The Wrestling Wrealm. That is the part I got to start doing all the advertising stuff like that. You can follow us. If you want to support our brand and what we do, check us out on the WrestlingWrealm.com. This is our latest drop. This, if you can't tell, it's inspired by the old school Monday Night Raw. We have a lot of different things on the website, including this soon to come, this Jack Daddy Brian H. Waters t-shirt that I'm just not letting go. It has to be there. So if you want to support the Jack Daddy himself, Brian H. Waters t-shirt is available. We have a number of different t-shirts. And they'll give you a phone call. Wouldn't that be special? You can get our most famous shirt that most fans are kind of clamoring for is the Proud Wrestling Fan t-shirt. A lot of you guys are closeted wrestling fans. You know you watch, but you're so ashamed to admit it. But just go ahead and just be yourself. Be free. Everybody else is. I mean, so definitely head to WrestlingWrealm.com. It's actually down right now, but it will be up soon rather than later once we get a few things ironed out. Also, subscribe to our Patreon channel at patreon.com/wrestling_realm. That's right. For all exclusive shows, content, and bonus material, including Brian H's thoughts. Right? Brian
I just dropped some Royal Rumble content on there.
Go ahead, tell us about it.
Just live from San Antonio. So make sure y'all check that out. Y'all can get a little insight, what it was like to be in the presser, what it was like to be on the floor, a little bit of what would they want to call a superstore. You get a little quick tour because that's what it really was.
I mean, I heard they had to start bringing more merchandise, but if you want to get a look at all that exclusive footage behind the scenes and just get a taste of an experience of being at Royal Rumble with Brian H, head over to patreon.com/wrestling_realm. We have a number of things coming to Patreon, including my show.
Whoop, whoop.
Realness Reacts. Realness Reacts is finally upon us. I am working hard. I'm going to take a Roddy Piper approach to pro wrestling conversation. I'm going to ask the tough questions. And for my first show, we're going to dissect this. I know a lot going on right now, but we're going to dive into this conversation right here. And you know what, brothers? I think I've got the perfect special guest to join me on this show. It's going to be a surprise. I spoke to a brother the other day and I was like, are you down? He said, I'm down whenever. I said, I think I'm gonna hold you to that. So Realness Reacts. We're gonna really dive into this. Mercedes Moné versus Sasha Banks.
Man.
I mean, can Mercedes Moné live up to the hype? That's what Realness Reacts is going to be about. Also coming to Patreon, something new. Your boy is writing again.
Yes, sir.
Wrestling Figures Wednesday. That's right. You're probably asking, what the heck is Wrestling Figures Wednesday? Well, if you don't know, I'm part of the wrestling figure collecting community, right? And professional wrestling action figures have played a major part in me as a professional wrestling fan, all the way from childhood, even now to as an adult. So I'm going to be writing and highlighting about just different things that I enjoy, different things I like, different things that I like to point out and specify why they're important to me, and just the overall impact that they've had in the wrestling figure community. But I think I may be working on something else with Patreon as well. But yeah, so this is all the exclusive content. So I say it again, if you're watching, patreon.com/wrestling_realm, where you can get all this good, fresh, exclusive content. So yeah, head over there, do that for us. Appreciate that. Also, so these are my friends. Before I get into the next thing, they're gonna help me out today. This is see this these guys.
Is that Cody?
Yes, this is Cody Rhodes. This is AEW Unrivaled Cody Rhodes. And this is a custom fix up of a Mattel Elite Matt Hardy, and these guys are going to be joining me on the show today. Real quick, just one. Patreon.com, where you can see the rest of it. That was perfect. That was good, right?
Hey. This is why y'all need to watch. Thank you for listening on the podcast platforms, because that takes care of bills too. But also watch the show.
But I'm telling you, you just missed out on some exclusive footage of what I just did there. Patreon.com/wrestling_realm. We're going to start really pushing this Patreon and growing our community. Also, if you're looking to purchase tickets for sports, concerts, and more, use promo code Wrestling Wrealm on SeatGeek and get $20 off your purchase when you spend $50 or more. If you know what tickets cost these days, it's going to cost you that much anyway. So why not save some money? Use promo code Wrestling Wrealm. That's 2 W's. WRESTLING WREALM as your promo code to get $20 off your purchase on SeatGeek when you spend $50 or more. Brothers, I believe
I might use the code yesterday. Y'all can tell us when y'all use it. We'll give you a shout out, but thank you.
By all means. I see a lot of people starting to come into the chat. But
I'm doing something. Look.
Go ahead.
So Y'all want to go to the Super Bowl?
Who doesn't want to go to Super Bowl?
All right, let's see. You can use the code for the Super Bowl.
Really?
Now.
That's
Yeah.
it. Come on now. You can use the promo code Wrestling Wrealm to buy tickets for this year's Super Bowl. I mean, who wouldn't take advantage of that opportunity? Ladies and gentlemen, what are you waiting for? Use promo code Wrestling Wrealm. Trust me, the tickets are going to be $50 or more. So you already save yourself $20. That's a guaranteed save $20. You rather have something or you rather have nothing.
Hey, I might get a ticket just because Riri there.
Ooh.
Listen to me. Whatever.
You want to know the price, the minimum price on SeatGeek right now?
Sure, go ahead. By all means. Drum roll, please.
4,000.
Whoa! Forget the drum roll, huh? What?
$4,840. That's for Terrace 422 row 19. So I don't even think you're sitting. But hey, if you're an Eagles fan or Chiefs fan, maybe Brother Corey want to go to the Super Bowl.
And guess what, though?
He gonna see his Eagles, so he can use the SeatGeek code.
And if you use promo code Wrestling Wrealm, you only be paying $4,820. Huh?
Hey,
that's right. I was to buy your hot dog.
Hey, guess what? If you use a firm, guess how much they are?
How much is that?
$623 a month.
Okay, yeah. So we financing tickets now. Okay,
Hey.
listen, where's it gonna come to? I'm okay with it.
Real quick, funny story. I remember when I was working at the Almighty Blue Box.
The Almighty Blue Box. Nobody knows what that is. I love it.
There was a guy who came into the store. He was a diehard Steelers fan, and he said he went to the one that they won against Seattle, and he said, look, so what if I had to eat oodles and noodles for a week? You know, I was gonna go to the Super Bowl. Now, mind you, this before the minimum price. The minimum price then we talking 2005, probably was about $500 or $600. You know, it was before tickets really got ridiculous.
Right.
But you know, I'm all for people getting a chance to go to the Super Bowl. One day I want to go out, maybe as media. I ain't trying to be in the stands.
Anybody trying to pay or stand for that?
Exactly.
No, okay, my fault. I thought it was more to the story. Okay,
Right, yeah.
It's like, we just broke the rule of it. Wait, no dead air. Oh, wait, that's it. Okay, no problem. But
we on TV. Dead air.
Listen,
just a little bit.
Listen, one more time. Promo code Wrestling Wrealm. SeatGeek, $20 off.
Casual wrestler in the building.
So thank you. See, people are starting to come into the chat. See, now our crew is here. So so let's get started, brothers. We're here today to talk about the Cody Rhodes era, right? And we, first of all, I'll say this. I'm laughing because I'm thinking about it. The previous show, we all had different ideas, preconceived notions. We had like skepticism. We had predictions about what could potentially happen at the Rumble. And almost dang near none of them kind of took place except the most obvious one, which is pretty much the topic of today's show, which is the Cody Rhodes era beginning in.
No, the most obvious one was Edge returns, but never mind.
Yeah, I know, right?
Going. That was the most obvious one.
Right.
Hey, shout out to Flex Zone and Drew Willingham in the chat.
Yeah, the Edge coming back had to be most predictable. Hey, Drew, your promise, Patrick Brady II has officially retired. Did I say it right? If you ever been on Drew Willingham's show and he has anything, Drew Brady, you prepare yourself. Oh boy, he knows because it is the struggle is real to be awesome. Shout out to Sir Toba Media and Drew Willingham. He just actually launched a new show, Kayfabe Express. Yeah. So head over to support him and his show, as well as the In or Out Sports Debate podcast, where he does a phenomenal job. He's one of my favorite podcasts and one of our good brothers in media. We hope to have him on the show really soon. So I just want to shout you out really, really quick. But gentlemen, see, there it is. See, thank you. I appreciate you, sir. So gentlemen, the Royal Rumble. We saw the Rumble. And I'm sure we all have feelings about it. That's why we had. As soon as I saw the text and he was like, "Hey, Brandon, you good for the show tonight?" I was like, "Oh yeah, there we go." I knew, I knew. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's gonna be one of those shows." So let's just jump right into it. We're good on time. So see, look, the casual wrestlers starting already. We'll be really surprised with the Rumble. This is what we're about to get into. This is what we're about to dissect. Who wants to go first? First, I want to know, brothers.
Oh.
No, by all means, you got it, Brandon. Okay, Brandon was there. Go
I
ahead.
thought we was doing the whole.
He was doing rock, paper, scissors, trying to
Right.
figure out.
Oh, no, okay, come on. Everybody up. Come on, everybody. You ready? Hold on. We don't rock, paper, scissors, shoot. So nobody cheats. Ready?
Mhm.
Okay. Elimination style. Okay, here we go. Ready? Yo, you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Did we all?
Brother Hugh wins.
Who's Brother Hugh? I was about to say. Really? Okay, Brother Hugh, let's start with you. 2023 Royal Rumble. Triple H's first Royal Rumble. What did you think of the show, good brother? Ladies and gentlemen, Brother Hugh's about to tell the world how he feels about the 2023 Royal Rumble. Here we go.
Hey, y'all saw the text.
Talk to your boys, man.
The first time watching it, I was like, what the heck is this? This piece of mess? This
Wow,
is it?
really?
This is it. But then,
this is perfect.
But then I had to go back and rewatch it and really dissect everything. And I was like, it makes sense. It makes sense. I was expecting a lot more, like more surprises. I was expecting Cody to come in a little bit earlier, but I kind of understand. They just give him like a little trial run to see how he can see if he can hold up in the ring and whatnot. You know, coming in at 30. I love the storyline builds. Like it made sense. It was a lot of big, powerful, as Vince McMahon say, beefy guys in there in the ring.
Big meaty men slapping me.
Hey, like there's so many, like you can see so many potential matchups down the line. Like for instance, Karrion Kross and of course Sheamus, or Karrion Kross and Gunther. Like you can just see so many different matches or matchups that can come down the line. And I enjoyed it. I mean, it was definitely the first. Well, the men's definitely should have went on first.
Very different.
Yeah, right. But we talk about just the men's or just the women's? So
No, just the overall pay-per-view, because this is the whole point of tonight's show is this was a different Rumble. Like everybody's talking about, the Rumble, here's what I like, here's what I didn't like. Okay, that's fine. For normal wrestling show.
It was just all about building storylines, honestly. I didn't understand why they had the Bianca Belair match. I mean, I understand she's like the face of the company, but that match was trash.
Okay.
It didn't really do it.
It wouldn't be a Brother Hugh. It wouldn't be a Brother Hugh review if something wasn't considered trash.
It didn't really do anything for the build for Alexa Bliss or Bianca. Like it was just there. It was like 5 minutes. And then Uncle Howdy, I don't know what he was on. He was on Baltimore's Finest. Right. That man just jumped and said, hey.
Certain things you can't get away with in the social media age. Just doesn't work that way.
He said clip that out. Which part? The Tom Brady part, I'm sure he's talking about. Drew said clip that out. TRDA.
Nice.
And then you got the Bloodline, man. Man, you can't say nothing wrong about that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure we're gonna get deeper into that later. So I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna let y'all rock.
Let's ask Brother Brandon. We'll let Brandon finish up. Brother Brandon, talk to me, sir, because this is if you don't know Brother Brandon.
Here we go.
I love his perspective on professional wrestling because it's so different. But the best part about it, and this is why he's a part of the wrestling room, is it makes us think. Because he says stuff and you're like, what? I like, because it's such a different perspective. You go, wow, he really made me think outside of what I like and what I want. But Brother Brandon, tell us what you thought about the 2023 Royal Rumble this year.
Well, Triple H definitely made me a liar because
I
didn't get to see the Great Muta. I didn't get to see Jay White.
Yeah,
I didn't
you
get
didn't
to
see
see
anybody.
Kyrie Sane.
Right.
So
weren't you on that show saying all these people was going to show up? Or was that the phone call?
Yep.
Was that just you and
No,
I?
both.
You was on the show. Okay.
I think it might have been everything because you couldn't have told me before the Rumble that one of those three weren't going to show up. And I was initially, like you said, I was mad. I was like, man, what is this? But then I had to sit back and think. We were so conditioned for years to be surprise. And then when Triple H said, no, the Royal Rumble is the road to WrestleMania, I am mapping out storylines that will take us to Mania, to the season finale of Raw and SmackDown, so then I can lead to the road to SummerSlam, then I can lead to Survivor Series. He's building these things to build to the next big four. So when you look at it, it was self-contained to the point that he said, I'm gonna give you Booker T, but he's already on the roster. He's technically there. He's a Hall of Famer. He was like, I don't have
was
to,
already there.
And you don't even realize you miss people like Ziggler. You miss certain people because they were there, but they weren't in the Rumble. Mm-hmm. And
why you had to say him?
Because I know that you was missing him. I know you were missing him. I'm just being honest. I'm just saying, you know,
already
you didn't have
starting off hot.
You didn't have him there, you know, a stable at the WWE, but you didn't have Dexter Lumis. You didn't have certain people that's been on the roster. You didn't have Jonas. So you got to think, okay, I have enough on my roster. I don't have to go outside, but I got enough to give you a good Rumble that when you sit back and look at it, 10 years from now, you can still say, you know, that was a pretty solid Rumble, and the right person won. And I didn't have anybody to take the shine off of who was going to be not only the winner, but like Brian says, the number 2 person that's going to be my next focal point.
And I think you said something very, very crucial. I don't know if you even caught it, but you said something that was extremely, extremely crucial, and I'm going to address it, but I'm going to let Brother Brian H., who was there in attendance for the Rumble, so he got a different perspective than the rest of us, but Brian H.
I saved the rest of it for the show. I kicked off the morning.
Did you really save that just for the show? Like this late? He's like, hold on, I just say this last little bit. This last little
this show number 3. I was told today. No, I bought it this morning because I had to follow up.
I was about to say that joint right flat as hell right now.
Yeah, I was told I put it in the freezer. You know how like grandmas used to do that little crunch.
Bro, everything go in the freezer.
Yeah,
everything.
Bring up everything.
Right.
Hell, I never got it. Batteries?
And I was
like, Mama, why these batteries in the refrigerator? Put them back. Stop touching stuff.
Okay. I was told that if I show up to the stream, we might have to have a conversation. I might have an intervention show.
You might get us all in trouble.
To get me off of it. Well, I was mad because I wanted to ask Bray, did he get a chance to taste it? But they only let Bray do like 3 questions. But Cody, he was like, before he started, he's like, somebody got to taste this stuff, right? I was like, hey.
Cody's like dragging his nuts, man. He's like, I'm the guy now. I can do what I want. Yeah. I'm gonna ask your questions and all this other stuff.
Whatever. And
bro, I had my hand up. I was waiting, yo. Like, come on. Nanny could show us that. But anyway, Royal Rumble, man. First of all, it's an experience. I know I always say for the realness and Brother Brandon, I need y'all to experience WrestleMania. Still do. But I equally feel that way about the Royal Rumble. SummerSlam and Survivor Series are great, right? But at the end of the day, if we being real, they're just regular shows. You know, WrestleMania, SummerSlam is a second-rate WrestleMania, so still good. Don't get me wrong. But the Royal Rumble, when you there and you hearing that countdown, it's nothing like it. The 3, 2, 1, and because you're constantly watching. I was so happy they started off with the Men's Rumble, just for that alone, just to get that. Like, you know, kind of, get that energy.
Like to start the show off.
Right. And especially Pat McAfee coming back, you know, when his music hit. And I couldn't wait because I knew, like, just knowing how him and Michael Cole are, I knew that they would have some sort of, like, I knew Michael Cole's reaction would be pretty much what it was. Like, he would be excited.
He was like generally surprised. You could
exactly. I could have did, obviously, without the concert. The Pitch Black match, that was my bathroom break. Like, not bathroom break, but like I had to go and I come back. The match was over, but I did see Uncle Howdy jump, and you know, it is what it is. It's a sponsorship match. You know, we saw this with the C4 match at SummerSlam. So it's kind of like you just you know how you pay your bills, right? The women's match, it was, to me, it was all about getting Alexa Bliss to that next level, and Drew hit it right on the head. The concert, that was trash. That was another bathroom.
What was the point of that, bro? Did they pay for that?
I'm pretty sure. And I felt like this. I felt first of all, when I saw them taking apart the ropes, I'm like,
it makes sense. Yeah.
Well, here's what I thought about.
Oh, the barbed wire match.
Right.
No, for the concert.
But I figured like, okay, maybe somebody was being like very particular when they were shooting it. They didn't want to shoot the concert through the ropes.
Sure, of course. Yeah.
You know, because like we've seen stuff before, and I was like, they could have just performed Like
they usually put it on stage, but
yeah,
the direction of the ramp, all that stuff.
and if they would have, they didn't do that Howdy spot, they could have just put him over there, to be honest with you. But it would have been difficult because like that's where the hard cams were over there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was, like I said, it was a good bathroom break match. Now, the only thing the only thing you give up stuff when you do media stuff, right?
Right.
I was in the presser when the end of the main event, because the assignment was like, all right, come back to the press room where when the main event happens, and then we're gonna go down afterwards. So everybody's in there on their phones like this.
Mm-hmm.
And bro, so you know how like in sports, there's no cheering in the press box. That's the difference with wrestling, because you can cheer, because let's be real, everybody in there are fans. You feel me?
Right.
Where in sports media, some people are fans of the team, some people aren't. But everybody, you heard this collective sigh in the press room when Sami Zayn hit the Roman with the chair, and it was so loud that you could kind of hear it through the walls. You could hear the reaction through the walls. That's when I kind of wish, like man, if you could be two places at once, being in the arena for that. I saw my buddy Marcus from the 4-letter, and you've seen him in like over 8 years, and he had like floor seats. So I actually walked down there and talked to him for a while, talked with Emilio Sparks. So like being on the floor with the women's rumble, that was pretty cool. The only thing is like it's just hard to see because of like the way the ramp is positioned.
Mm-hmm. But
overall, I thought it was good. Like I said, this was one I definitely went back and rewatched kind of immediately, and still, enjoy it. I love the direction, like seeing where they're going, and I love the fact, like Brother Brandon mentioned, using their own guys. I'm not like, I've been watching old Rumbles, and you get the roster. It's not like, to me, we would have and Brother Brandon and Brother Hugh could go back to like 2010, 11. When we had Royal Rumble parties, there was always like a multiple surprises, and that's because the roster was mid, so you was excited to see those surprises. But like you go back to the 80s and the 90s, you couldn't really do surprises because the people you would have wanted to surprise with wasn't available because they was in WCW, and here tonight it was I should say Saturday night, it felt like Triple H showed like the confidence that he has in the roster. And one thing he talked about during the presser was moments. That's what he looks at in the Royal Rumble, moments, and who made a moment. And yeah, Cody won. Cody got over. Cody went over, but Gunther, as the real Dwayne Allen would say, got over.
No doubt. I mean, that was like I said, as effortless as usual. But all excellent points in regards to the Rumble and your experience. I'll say this, and I stole that from Ms. Baker. Let me just say this. I do like the term. One thing that I noticed, especially what you said, Brandon, you said when you look back at this Rumble in 10 years, I think that's when you're going to realize the impact that it had. We saw a very different version of the Royal Rumble this year. And initially, for guys like us, who've pretty much seen it all caught us by surprise. But of course, we're open to it. It's because you have to evolve, you have to adapt. And as Brother Hugh said in the beginning, it doesn't take long for you to realize, okay, I see what's going on here. This is going to lead us to our next point. Triple H's approach to the Royal Rumble was very, very different this year. And I know a lot of people who didn't catch it, it rubbed them the wrong way. And as Brother Brandon kind of alluded to, and so did Brian H., it was it wasn't what we were used to. When you look at the way Vince McMahon books these bigger shows, we're used to him saying, look, I'm focused on putting on the best show possible, whatever spectacle that may be. But I noticed something. I want you brothers to chime in and let me know if you notice the same thing as I said. There's way more storytelling involved in this year's Rumble, right? Usually Rumble is just like this, it's like a once in a lifetime situation. Back in the day, Raw and SmackDown never touched each other. They would get in the ring, and it was like, you get to see Undertaker go at it with whoever. You know what I mean? It was like a special thing. It was just for one night only, and then you would go back to your prospective shows and act like it didn't happen. You never took anything away from the Rumble once you went back to your prospective shows, unless you won, right?
Like Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar, or Roman Reigns, and it was like,
exactly.
Back to NXT you go.
they were moments, right? Because Vince is like, let me put on the best show. I respect that. The fans are looking for, let's see how it works, right? But I noticed that this year's Royal Rumble, I said, man, Triple H is like progressing storylines with this Rumble. So let's talk about the first storyline. Gunther.
There it is.
Royal Rumble MVP.
Mm-hmm.
Why would the Rumble start first? Why would he be number one? And why would Cody be 30? Cody was the obvious choice. And they knew that. We knew that, right? Mm-hmm. So you're watching it and you're like, well, why would they put him number one? It's because they had a point to prove. I've never seen the Royal Rumble, the match and the gimmick itself, be used to get somebody over, to help build one individual's legacy going forward. Dang, 15 people watching right now. God dang, on fire. I've never seen the Rumble used to get one guy over.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, Brian, they said it like, yeah, they use it to get him over. So, right, Gunther is one of the best homegrown, natural next big things. Like, to me, he has Brock Lesnar buzz, right? He has the potential to be the next big WWE global megastar. And not only has he done that individually each week on SmackDown, he has brought his gimmick, his character, his what's the word I'm looking for? His presentation has brought prestige back to that title. Yes, he's the it guy. We saw it with guys like Del Rio when they first came in. We see it with guys like Brock Lesnar. We saw it with guys like Kurt Angle. When they're cultivating and they're grooming the next guy, right? We saw it with guys like Randy Orton. Guys like Cena and Batista got it later, but they weren't initially chosen up front. But you look at a guy like Gunther, and you say, we're going to use this Rumble to put people on notice, like, yo, he's the next big thing. Is because although he didn't win, that man lasted an hour and who knows how many minutes longer than anybody else in Rumble history. And I'm like, man, he went toe to toe with all of our favorites to start the show off.
Right.
Lesnar.
Everybody and you notice if you go back, you watch the Rumble, there's moments where he comes face to face with certain guys and everybody goes nuts. And you say, well, what's the difference between this moment and the moments before the Rumble? It's like usually those moments are like surprise guys. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
When Keith Lee, perfect example, Keith Lee and Brock Lesnar come face to face for the first time, right? It's a moment, but it was something that was here today, gone the next moment. Like here 1 minute, gone the next. We saw him have these face off with so many people, Drew McIntyre, and you saw all these potential matchups, and you're like, man, this guy is going to be the next one that they're grooming, and they're grooming him the right way. It's a slow build. They're not hot shot booking. They're taking their time, and he's proven that in his space, he can still be a top guy. That was one of the things I was most impressed about. When I noticed that, I said, this is going to be one of those Triple H nights. And I immediately threw any preconceived notions or thoughts completely out the window.
Yeah.
He said, hey, Vince, hey, Dad. Dad.
I got something for you, Dad.
But I want to say,
you told me he couldn't cut it, Dad.
That's the thing right there. Sorry, Brandon, but that's the thing right there. He's always like looking for a point to prove. Like one of the things people asked him, like, "Are you feeling the pressure of booking your first WrestleMania?" He was like, "There's always pressure," but he said he put his guys, from production to talent to everything, against anybody, against any company, against anybody in the world. And you can tell. What I like to see is I love to see the rises when people come from NXT and they rise to WWE. You got Gunther, who, let's be real, if Cody, he's probably gonna win next year's, right? Because he's kind of like in that Roman Reigns spot. As much as we hated it,
he's up next.
He's that up next spot, right? You have Rhea Ripley, who's a NXT, coming from NXT, and she won. Bianca Belair, defending her championship. Who was in the main event? Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens. You really see, and then that's the thing. Triple H restored so many people. Kevin Owens back in the main event where he belongs. Gunther get ready to do his thing. He's a top guy. He got the IC title, but he's a top guy. And this Royal Rumble helped put him there.
And not only that, we kind of saw that theme kind of resonate for the rest of the night. Go ahead, Brandon. You was about to say something before Brian interjected.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Triple H, it was a slap in Vince's face, but it was also a nod to him too, because Vince gave us a lot of things that he would tease in that moment, and then could always revisit it. Like certain feuds that we remember, the Vince McMahon that we had before he retired got lazy. repeat. Whereas though, and I'm going to use, here's my Jericho reference. You ready here?
We knew it was coming.
I'm going to use this reference, right? How many times did Jericho and King wrestle each other over, let's say, a 5-year period of time? But every time they wrestled, it felt special because they kept revisiting it. Remember, even as something as simple as you didn't get tired of Rock and Austin because they could always come back to it. You didn't get tired of Kurt Angle and this person or Kurt Angle and Edge, that battle for the United States title, Intercontinental title, the hair versus hair match. It had time to breathe. So think about it. SummerSlam, if they wanted to drag it out or do Bobby and Brock, you could always reference their WrestleMania moment. You could reference. They kept saying, Bobby would be the U.S. champion if it wasn't for Brock Lesnar. Here comes a thorn in his slide. You know what I mean? And then even when Austin Theory said, yeah, about Brock, what he did was ready to, he took him out, right, quote unquote, but then he did something else. He's planting all these seeds, or as Dwayne say, the dust, because one of the biggest things, if you look at Sheamus and Drew, Triple H know it, and here's something that you might not like. If Roman disappears after Mania, he got other stars that can
he does. Yeah.
Make you forget, because you could put Sheamus, Drew, Gunther, even at tag teams, you could have so much, because I want to see Sheamus and Drew. Drew and Gunther now. I don't want to see Sheamus, even though I want Sheamus to get that title. I want to know what him and Drew can do now, because I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I never thought about that, and it kind of got you for. And even though they teased the whole Seth Rollins and Logan Paul, I'm okay if him and Ricochet have a match. Imagine with Logan Paul.
You know, again, Seth Rollins and Logan Paul at WrestleMania.
Yep.
But I'm saying, Elimination Chamber, why not give me Ricochet and Logan Paul?
Brother Brandon, just don't mention Roman going away.
I'm saying the man do probably need a break, though.
He does. Come on now, cut it out.
He takes a day or two off of TV, but then he always defaults back to SmackDown. He only gone too long.
Fox,
and he's
that was my first thought.
Keep him on. How much we got to pay him some more? Fox don't like kicking out that bread.
That's why we didn't get the fallout on USA. Fox probably said no. Yep. That belongs to us.
We want those ratings, and guess what? If they pay your bills, and
there you go.
I think it was Dwayne said the SmackDown feels like the A show and Raw is the B. But now, since they have their bona fide star power, because Cody, we can't even. I know we're gonna get into this later. He's an authentic star.
Yes, he is. He's and to your point, brother Brandon. This is why I'm glad he's on the show today. To your point, isn't that what we've been missing? Hasn't that been the criticism? When everybody goes, we don't have an equal to Roman that realistically says this person could generally challenge him, right? We've had Kevin Owens, but Kevin Owens is involved in such a deeper story, right? I guess it's deep. It's deeper that, like, if Kevin Owens loses, it's not because Roman is better, because Kevin Owens has had Roman's number for a while now. He should have beat him at War Games and Survivor Series, right? But there's so much.
Should Finn Balor. Remember, Finn should have beat him.
Finn Balor had him beat, right? So it's like, I love how he loses a lot. He's supposed to lose, but there are these other factors that protect him and keep him winning. So you see his vulnerabilities, and it's like,
but he's still dominant in the same breath, which is insane.
At the end of the day, as long as you win and you stay in control, that's a form of dominance, right? We watched Ric Flair do it. That's what made Ric Flair who he was in the 80s versus that was his counterpart to Hogan. Hogan in the 80s. Hogan was the superhero. He never lost. He didn't go through that much adversity, but when Hogan did, it was always big money. Hogan was killing everybody, Big John Studd, Zeus, and then Andre comes along. Then it's like, whoa, nobody beats Andre. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like when your hero has that adversity versus Ric Flair was about to lose every night. It was never not Ric Flair was going to talk his trash and then get in that ring and be on the ground like this, begging like, oh, Ric Flair might lose his, but find a way to win and then talk trash afterwards, right? And Roman Reigns has that same quality, which is amazing. But with Cody Rhodes in a mix, you're like, wait a minute. We have somebody that's a legitimate huge star that's drawing money, that's selling our merchandise, and it's like we may have some. It reminds me of when John Cena felt comfortable enough to leave WWE after his feud with AJ Styles. He said, "I think we're in good hands." Yep. He realized the amount of talent that was starting to emerge. He felt comfortable enough to say, "I can walk away peacefully, and this place will still be in a good space," and it was. But there were a lot of spots in the Royal Rumble, especially like you said, Logan Paul's involvement. Such a dedicated performer. You know what I mean? His spot with Ricochet. It's like, how is Logan Paul better than like half the guys that's been there for like 5-10 years already? You know, and even in his space, he helped progress storylines. He set up like people saw when Cody Rhodes entered that 30 and he faced off with Seth Rollins. They're both technically faces right now, right? Rollins is still kind of a tweener, and he talked his trash. Oh yeah, how's that pec, right? But they didn't give you. They gave you a realistic encounter. But we said we don't want to have these guys facing off because they're faces, and we got Rollins going in one direction, Cody going another direction. We can always revisit this because once Cody wins, we know it's going to happen. Then Seth Rollins can turn heel again, and then you have Joker back to your Batman again. And just when they were about to go at it, interruption, and then they never really get a chance. Logan Paul gets involved, and now Seth Rollins is like, okay, so now the celebrity guy. Like immediately when I saw it, I said, we're definitely getting Seth Rollins versus Logan Paul at Mania. That's going to be a huge sell. That's going to be a huge draw. Like these guys are going to tear it up in exchanges on the mics.
And it's huge for Seth Rollins' brand too. Just Absolutely. From a because look how many followers Logan Paul has. That's the reason why he's in WWE. But you brought up something. How is he better than? Because the main thing is he gets the psychology of it.
Big time though. Like it's some guys just get it. Like that's what I said about Kurt Angle. Like man, he came and he just got it. Like Kurt Angle didn't grow up watching wrestling. He wasn't a lifelong wrestling fan. He wasn't like that. He said, I got into it because there was nothing else left for me to do with professional wrestling. And he became one of the greatest to ever lace their boots up. But we saw the same thing in Royal Rumble as we kind of progress, with tonight. We got to move on. We saw that same thing. I think the biggest rub of the night to me was the women's Royal Rumble match, right? When I saw it, I'm not the biggest women's wrestling fan. Not because of what they can and can't do. I'm just not familiar with them a lot of times. And when I watch wrestling, I don't discriminate. I'm not just going to give them a shot because they're women. I'm like, no, help me get invested. And as much as we were expecting same thing, more surprises, familiar faces, Triple H gave those girls an opportunity to introduce the main audience to all these fresh faces, right? And it's like, man, you don't pay that any mind right now, but it goes back to what Brandon said. Where are these young ladies going to be in 10 years? A handful of them are going to be the ones in the main roster because if you look back at what Bayley looked like when she first started NXT, what Sasha looked like when she first got in NXT, Charlotte,
look at Charlotte,
Becky Lynch, like we didn't pay them any mind either, right? But they were given the opportunity to grow. Bianca Belair, she first did her 450 splash at WrestleMania, in the women's, I believe it's the women's battle royal. They did
battle royal, the thing Naomi won, right?
Yeah,
that was that year, right?
The trophy shaped like a uterus. That was that's right. I said it. And so, and what I noticed was I was like, man, whether people like it or not, he introduced us to so many new faces that we may not have been familiar with. But guess what? When they pop up, they're no longer going to be foreign faces to us. They're going to be like, okay, I remember her. This is the girl. And some of those ladies really, really impressed me in the ring. And some of them really, really kind of got my attention, which is what I'm looking for. But I wouldn't have got that if I was expecting the Bella Twins and Maria and all these other familiar faces that come out. So when you look at how Triple H booked the Rumble, he understands the purpose of what he is. He has not lost his roots, which is developmental. It's you got to sacrifice things at some point so you can protect the lifeblood of your company moving forward. And I feel like he brought that to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. I think LA Knight and Bray Wyatt did an amazing job in the pitch black match, right? People say, "Oh, it's dumb." Maybe, but it was a sponsorship match, right? Triple H broke all types of records, for this world. I was telling Blake or Shark or somebody, I don't remember who I was talking to, right? But I was telling a bunch of guys, and I was like, yo, this Rumble, he had to prove a point, right? He shattered records and numbers on all cylinders. And if you're going to do a match like this, why not go all out? You know what I mean? Why not go, what up, M-Dog? Why not sit there and have the flow? Like, it was so different. And I'm like, well, shoot, if you're going to give me a gimmick sponsorship match, why not make it fun? And I think LA Knight did an amazing job with Bray Wyatt. I think this is just the beginning for them, whether people liked it or not. Just the overall show was it was a very Triple H way of doing things.
Right.
So, and honestly, I'm okay with that. So, let me say this: I want everybody to pretty much tell me their MVP for the Royal Rumble. And name at least 3 people that they either wish would have been in the Royal Rumble or 8 people that they missed out having in the Royal Rumble. I already have my 3.
Ooh.
I already have my 3. So if you guys want to take a minute to think about it, you can. I can ramble
Over
for
the
a few
night?
more minutes. What do you mean?
You said in the Royal Rumble over like the whole show?
Yeah. Like in the Royal Rumble, because we were used to we were expecting surprises and stuff like that, and I know we didn't get any of that. Like we got a few. It was very minimum, right? But it was very like home base. But like if there's a few guys that I wish I would have saw in the Rumble this year that I didn't get a chance to see that I thought would have made it that much more better. But like I said, I mean, I understand completely what this Rumble was about, man. And but if you got your 3, by all means, you want to start, but just let me know.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Was I the only one that forgot about Natalya? Was still a wrestler?
That's not
come
nice.
on.
Come on, man. Yeah, I always want to disrespect Natalya, bro, because she is a living legend.
Facts.
I didn't miss her.
Listen, I forgot about it too, but goddamn, brother, I was happy that she was there. I was like, oh yeah, shoot.
Oh, Natalya.
I popped because Natty always been one of my favorites. So
I love she was one of the few women's wrestlers that I said I love her as a wrestler, not a women's wrestler. Like I love her as a wrestler. I don't like separating the two.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Okay.
And like and I don't like the bias behind it, because then you get looked at as if you're sexist or misogynistic if you don't like women's wrestling or a particular superstar. And it's like, well, that's not fair. Like what's it going to be? Are we looking at them all as equals? Or are we going to separate the two? Like, are you want to be considered a lady wrestler or just a flat out wrestler? So, you know what I mean? So it's like, if I like you, I like you. I'm not gonna say, well, I like her because I have to like one women's wrestler, because if I don't like women's wrestling, I'm a misogynistic. No, I'm not. I like what I like at the end of the day. And she was always one of the ones in that era of women that didn't get a lot of time that could go out there and I believe
right.
Her, Beth Phoenix, Maurice, Trish Stratus, Mickey James. There's a handful. Michelle McCool, you know what I mean? Layla. There's a handful. But let's start before we move on, because we're gonna wrap this up really, really soon. So Brian H., let's start with you. Top 3 guys that you either wish you would have saw in the Rumble or that you missed being in the Royal Rumble this year. Oh, and then give me your Royal Rumble MVP.
See, the MVP part is hard, because I actually got, well, I'm gonna try to go. I actually didn't know who it is, but
excuse
3 people that I wish I say. I'll say Dolph Ziggler.
Okay. Look at Brother Hugh.
Man, Naomi, for what it's worth. I would have loved to seen her. Would have wished they could have got got the deal done. And honestly, I wish I would have seen Beth Phoenix in the Rumble, because I saw her earlier, which I love because of everything going. Right. And I would have just loved it just a little bit. And this is me also nitpicking because I got to pick, but just a little bit of that story, a little bit bleeding into the Royal Rumble, and Rhea taking her out and just showing her dominance. Okay. Sure. That's all. But
you don't think that would have killed her a little bit though?
Kill Rhea?
Yeah.
If she
no, I'm sorry, Beth Phoenix, because they still got to use Beth to kind of help get her to a different level.
No, because Rhea would have probably. I feel like they would have figured a way to do it, because at the end of the day, it's eliminating somebody out of the Royal Rumble. It's not pinning 1, 2, 3.
Sure.
It's just catching and slipping, or even if it's a duck down, pull ropes down, something like that. I think the only way you really get like buried in a Royal Rumble is somebody literally pick you up and throw you over. I mean, after all, I say this because Undertaker just came on my screen as I'm watching No Way Out 03. He got eliminated by Maven.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, when he got that drop kick.
You see that? Leave it to Brady to put things in proper perspective. That is an excellent comparison. I get that. Like, it makes sense to me now.
But I tell you, if we can't choose Gunther, you can't choose Cody, you can't choose Rhea Ripley. Dominic Mysterio.
I'm curious. Why would you give him your MVP for the Rumble?
Because, man, Dominic just keeps getting better. The facial reactions, he felt like he has a sense of belonging, taking his dad out.
He gypped us on the spot. Like, we missed the guy in the Rumble because of him.
Right.
Nobody, like, that was one of those things you had to, it was better if you had commentary, because you're waiting. You're like, wait a minute. You heard the music. And because of the way the ramp is, you're thinking, all right, well, maybe I just started watching the match and didn't realize that that Ray came out and then he got eliminated quick. So you ain't even realize he's at Prison Dawn that he was out. And then Corey Graves, man, selling Dominic the whole time, because I went back and saw it, and he's like, Dominic is used to this because when he was in the prison cell, Corey
Graves is the worst, man. He's so good at his job.
Remember, this is the guy who pinned the name Main Event Jay Uso. To the point, Jay said, like, he was on the After the Bell podcast. Jay said, "Man, look, bro, you gotta keep saying that, man. Like,
it was working.
Give me some of that love. Give me some of that love." Right. So, and him doing this with Dominic, he's doing the same thing with Dominic Mysterio. He's found a way.
He really is, though.
Yeah, he's carved a lane. I saw somebody posted a match with him and Seth Rollins, right? When Rollins was the NXT champion, it was a championship match.
I couldn't stand him as a wrestler.
That's all I kept thinking about. I was like, the real Dwayne Allen will always say, this dude was terrible. Like, why is he here? He was
skinny. 100%. Skinny. He was built like Necro Butcher, had his gear, suspenders. I'm like, come on, bro. This is not
word on the street was that he was about to be booked at RCW.
I mean, I can see that, man. I mean, one of the bookers is right here on the show. I'm not gonna say who it was. I just know it's not me. It's not me, Brian H. or Brother Hugh. I'm not saying who it was. Look at his face. Wish we could just blow up Brandon's face right there.
I know, right? Wait, this is what you did.
There it is.
Got you. We cracked him.
There it is. Real Championship Wrestling Baltimore Brothers circa 2012.
Yeah.
Anyways,
was this before the B guy era? But Corey Graves, man, he's been putting over Dominic like nothing else, man, and it's been phenomenal to watch. Mm-hmm. But so Dominic's my MVP.
Okay, brother.
Or he makes the Gold Glove. He gets the Gold Glove. He makes the Pro Bowl.
Okay, that's fair. Brother Hugh, three guys that three guys, gals that you missed in the Rumble that you probably wish would have been there, or you just missed them, and then your MVP.
Right off top, Ziggler. Yeah, I was about to say, Dolph Ziggler, just because it's Dolph Ziggler. But I would like to see Mustafa in there.
I forgot.
Maybe you could maybe you can enhance that storyline with him and Ziggler a little bit. I mean, I know it's not a major storyline, but
nah, man, Ziggler's gonna do amazing things for that guy. He needs Ziggler.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Dolph Ziggler's a star maker. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like, he's really good. Like, people have no idea how really good like Dolph Ziggler really is. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wish I could have seen like some NXT stars for the men though.
Okay,
but then I'm thinking about it. And I'm like, who would I bring up right now? Because I feel like Mello and Trick, they're ready, but you don't want to bring them up right now.
Get lost in the sauce a little bit.
Yeah, Braun and Waller, same thing with them.
Grayson Waller, yep, yeah.
So it's like, who would you really bring up? So I guess just leave that alone. Of course, after seeing Pitch Black, I wanted to see Naomi, just for the entrance. Straight up. When they dropped those lights and they had the black lighting in the background, just
bring it to the top.
I was like, oh my God. I texted, I was like, look, hey, her entrance is about to be crazy. It's about to be crazy.
I think she probably would have got a loud pop if she obviously for obvious reasons. Yeah.
Yes. But honestly, I wanted to see Jay White. I'm not sure, but the only thing is I wasn't sure of, like, would it just be like you just bring him in and let him do what he got to do, because you can't really enhance a storyline.
No,
right now.
That's kind of It's kind of because it goes back to what we talked about earlier. Was like, well, see, in this Triple H era, he's using the Royal Rumble to still tell stories, versus before you could come in, have a spot, and then leave. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like Drew Carey coming into the spot, waving to the fans, getting flipped out by Kane, and then walking out. You know what I mean? But it's like nowadays, when you look at the Royal Rumble the way Triple H does, it's like, wow, shoot, if you're not involved in anything, if you didn't have a purpose to be in a Rumble, you really weren't in the Rumble. So,
yeah. Now, as far as the MVP, I'm gonna go with Asuka.
Oh, okay, that's a good one, Brother Hugh.
Just because I'm changing. That was my look. I wrote it down. I'm changing my opinion.
The Brandon's got to go back to the drawing board.
First of all, Asuka is sexy as hell.
She is. I don't care what nobody say.
Right.
She
But
like them.
that whole that whole
That's an insider.
that whole gimmick, man. I'm glad she switched up the
Sure.
energy she came out with,
A
like
little more edgy.
yeah, just going, just strikes everywhere. Like you couldn't stop her.
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that energy that she brought. And you know she's about to do some crazy stuff for sure.
Oh yeah, especially when I saw her with Carmella, she was from the mouth. I'm gonna tell you what I love so much about Asuka, because you know how you guys know how I feel about Japanese professional wrestling, Parisi style or strong style, whatever you want to call it. She is such like a genuine homage to the culture of Japanese women's wrestling, right? If you're not really familiar with, like, she didn't come to WWE and just start like doing WWE style stuff. She brings so many elements of her past, and she brings to me so much awareness to Japanese women wrestlers, because that same style, even the stuff with the mist, that's a Japanese tradition that you see in professional wrestling. The Great Muta has recently retired. He's the one that we saw make famous, you know what I mean, for the most part, and just elements to how she dresses, her style, how she comes out is the reason why her and Io Sky kind of perform the way they do. We saw the same thing with Kairi Sane. It's like, man, because it's such an ode to Japanese women's wrestling, which I think is amazing and hard hitting. We were at RCW with and I remember we had the Japanese wrestlers that come in and even same thing. Like it's like, man, it's such a different style, and I enjoy so much because it's so hard hitting. It's just like, ooh, they're really doing this.
Yes.
But she brings all those elements to WWE, and I love the fact that they've, even in the Vince era, they've never had her change that, which I thought is right. I know a lot of people that's not familiar with that. They're like, I don't get it. She's being weird. I'm like, no, there's a reason why she does so many small nuances. It's such a tribute to where she comes from, you know, and who she is. And I'm just glad that WWE didn't change that about her. But brother Brandon,
I feel like Shinsuke switched up a little bit.
Shinsuke did switch up a little because Shinsuke used to be way more vicious.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. He used to be way more vicious.
His
but
NXT
I think
was totally different.
Yes, he came in like that. Like we all saw the recent footage of Okada taking it to a young boy.
Shout out to the home.
Oh my gosh, what
in the building?
Hey man,
listen. I don't know what's going on.
I was
wrong guy.
I said here the video. And I'm on the phone. This is what he says on the phone. Oh, he big man.
What was this?
Oh,
you talking about when you see the clip of Okada was
yeah.
Oh man.
Like, oh my god.
And he kicked him in the face.
Yo, that was like real, bro.
Such a shoot. When wrestling strong style goes wrong, I was like,
right,
bro. I don't know who you are, but you picked the wrong time to try to make a name for yourself. And he went into business for himself, and he got the business.
He definitely did.
But
what you say, Brandon? This is the moment when he knew he messed up.
He effed up. Yeah, but those are, you know. Shinsuke was definitely that way early on, like, because that if you watch that match he had with Sami Zayn, his debut, you're like, he's gonna kill Sami.
That's one of my favorite matches.
But Sami kept up with him so well. I mean, he's familiar with that style. Come on now.
Absolutely.
I think I'm gonna watch that tonight just for fun. That was swoosh, man. Good old days.
That set the tone for WrestleMania 32 weekend.
That
was like when NXT
got jealous.
Yeah, you was like, all right, there's no way they're going to be better than WrestleMania is going to be better than, especially with all the injuries they had.
Yeah, that's true. The quality that NXT put on that show. Man, phenomenal. No pun intended. AJ Styles. But brother Brandon, sir, 3 people that you wish you would have saw that you missed out on, and your MVP for the Rumble.
Well,
you've been over there working and tinkering.
Yeah, I was. So my first one that I missed that we should have had was Scripps.
Okay.
Oh my God.
All right.
Okay.
No, I'm joking. No. Seriously.
All right.
Seriously. I just want to see if everybody knew who that was.
Because I was about to say, if anybody's familiar with NXT,
big flips.
I really did Shinsuke. Well, we said Shinsuke. I definitely missed him. I thought they would have did something with him, especially coming off of his Noah run.
Absolutely.
I thought they were gonna bring him back, but I trust Triple H. Gabe Stevenson because
you trust Triple H.
Yeah, I trust Triple H.
Okay.
Gabe Stevenson, and the only reason I'm saying Gabe Stevenson because
I forgot all about him.
They keep popping him in only these little skits. Like, when are you going to actually do something with
because he's not ready. He's not.
I was about to say he probably some trash. Shit.
He's not Kurt Angle.
Just run with Shorty G. Just run with Gable, man.
No, that's what I want to. That's what I want.
Gable is amazing. Unreal.
Push that man, bro.
But Brandon, you might be. I would put him in American Alpha.
Yep.
I don't know if he can keep up with those guys. Like
he wouldn't have to
personality-wise.
because he could carry him.
He you know what? Hey, he could be the Mark Henry. You know what I mean? He could be the young boy in the group. So
exactly. And then the other one, the last one,
Gable Stevenson.
He could be the new Kurt Black's son.
Wow.
But good.
And can somebody confirm?
Not wrong. He had to say it. He's not wrong.
What do you say, brother Brandon? Confirm what?
Is Cameron Grimes injured?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, what happened to him?
Because I thought this would have been a perfect time for him to debut. They're in Texas. He's kind of like a country look. I was like, maybe we'll see Cameron Grimes because I don't know if he's injured. He just disappeared from NXT.
I would not be surprised if he gets repackaged. I'm not even gonna hold you.
But repackaged to NXT or repackaged to
just in general.
And then my MVP, and it was Asuka, but he took my thunder. I'm gonna say an underdog who should have been an honorable mention because if you go back and watch the Rumble, just watch Zoe Starks. There was a lot of emphasis on her. She had a lot of big spots.
She really impressed me.
They treated her. The only thing that I think they was missing because Nikita Lyons got injured.
She got
okay.
I think they would have brought both of them to.
I assumed she was going to be out there, but I didn't know she got injured though.
Yeah, she's injured. She did.
I didn't know it was real, but yeah.
But they did a storyline and wrote her off. But she
parking lot
surgery well. Yeah, the parking lot.
The parking lot of death.
It was funny. She was just sitting in the parking lot and everybody just walking past, like nothing happened.
But I'll tell you, if you watch Zoe Starks, she had some spots in there, and I was so happy that Asuka, when that music hit, I said, "Oh, we remixing the music. Oh, she got a different mask.
That mask was crazy.
Oh yeah. That was
the face paint. I was
like, But you got to admit, Asuka is probably one of the most entertaining wrestlers they have.
Oh yeah, big time.
She just draws you in. Like, remember during the pandemic, even when she won that, I never get that Money in the Bank match. Remember when they was introducing everybody and she was on the top thing and she jumped down and then she started doing like this. I was like, why is this so good? Why do I just want to see Asuka? Keep giving me her every week on TV because it was just entertaining. But she backs it up with her wrestling.
I loved her gear, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I'm sure you did.
Back to the pants.
She changed it back up. She said, "Watch what I'm gonna do."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That makes a lot of sense. And I'll be brief because I know we got to move on. But I think the three people that I missed have been pretty much named already. That I just missed in the Rumble, like just their names and their brands in the Royal Rumble, just for the experience. It was obviously AJ Styles is my number one. Unfortunately, due to injury, and then I wanted to hear Bobby Roode kind of there were rumors of him being backstage at SmackDown. I wanted to have that glorious moment where he just kind of, to me, that moment could have been the ultimate reset button. Yep. To have that, first of all, having everybody, it's been who knows how long since people have heard that theme. So just having that whole 50,000 fans kind of having that glorious moment and then him make his way to the ring. And the other obvious one to me, like I said, is Shinsuke Nakamura. I think he's just still one of my favorites. So talented. And I'm looking forward to like the reemergence of everybody's careers now, especially with Triple H in charge. Also, shout out to Nia Jax returning to the Rumble. I figured she was going to come back. I love Nia Jax. I figured she was going to like eventually come back, but I didn't think she was that interested in wrestling anymore at this point. But with Triple H in charge,
most girls.
Obviously, I mean that's just what she says in the theme song. And you know what? I didn't listen, but I'm glad that she is back as well. But moving on, what do you guys want to talk about next? Do you want to talk about? Let's talk about the Cody Rhodes era, because it really hasn't begun. So this is going to be, we're going to say this last segment for Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, because that's so dramatic. So we're going to sit here, we're going to preview the Cody Rhodes era, right? Cody Rhodes wins the Royal Rumble 2023, not 2003. Thank you, brother Brandon. Wins the Royal Rumble, and I didn't think he was going to come in at 30, but
exactly.
He got to match
like
up with
21.
Yeah, I was thinking he was going to have more of a dramatic climb. You know what I mean? There was a little bit more adversity, man. But it's just like, to me, it seems, and I want you guys to let me know what you think. It seems to me like they're really jet focused on what they want to do, right? They're not trying to swerve you. they're telling you what it is, and it's almost like we're watching him literally ascend right in front of our faces. He comes out, he looks great. He's got great gear on. He's not wearing stupid yellow boots in AEW and stuff like that. He goes toe to toe with Gunther, and I'm like that's a potential world championship matchup down the line. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's like,
yeah,
Facts.
I enjoyed his time in the ring. I enjoyed who he is. I enjoyed how confident he is, how he's coming into his own. I'm happy to have him back because he was such a shot of adrenaline when he returned to WWE, and then for him to be sidelined due to that vicious injury, but to come back and have that story. I really enjoyed his performance in the Royal Rumble. I enjoyed what he was able to do. And it's obvious we have our next guy. Now, I'm here to ask the brothers because only the brothers can answer these type of questions. Is what does the landscape of WWE look like now when Roman Reigns obviously has some stuff he needs to tie up. So he's got some internal issues going on, and he's got a Kevin Owens thorn in his side, as well as now a new Sami Zayn thorn in his side. But what does the WWE landscape look like when Cody Rhodes faces off with the Tribal Chief and Roman Reigns? For whatever reason, let's say Roman Reigns loses, whatever the case may be. Now he's the guy. We've been so used to Roman for so long. Brian Aces still doesn't want him to go anywhere. No. And he may not go anywhere. He just he may just, keep doing his limited run, may not be wrestling, but he may, he's done so much drama. He doesn't have to wrestle at this point.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? He's giving us just immaculate soap opera worthy content that's like, well, you don't miss Roman wrestling because he does so much that you don't need to see him get in the ring. But Cody Rhodes is a wrestler's wrestler. He's made it very clear. I got me a bus. I got my family. I got the position. I got the money. I'm going on tour. I'm coming to live shows. I want to be the guy, and he's having that run. What does can Cody Rhodes lead this version of the WWE into the future, brother? Hugh, go ahead.
Man, that man is what Lex Luger was supposed to be back in the day.
Ooh, flames! God dang! Say it again, brother Hugh. Yo,
straight up,
fire! Oh my
straight
God.
up.
Say it again, yo.
Hey man,
bro,
what is that time code,
bro? I didn't even think of that, yo. My mind is blown right now, bro. Like I didn't even realize that, yo.
I saw him come out, and you know how I am. I saw him come out on Raw.
Wow.
And just the production team, of course, they always catch the angles and whatnot. They had the flag in the background, and then he was like standing on the top rope, looking fresh, nice and clean, in his suit. He was out shaking hands and giving his belt out and this and that. I said, this man looked like a presidential candidate, bro. He looked like, hey.
You're making it make so much sense. Like, I know that, right? But I never I didn't know what it was that I'm looking at. And you are absolutely right, yo. Keep going. I'm sorry. I'm blown away right now, bro.
Who's better? Like, who else are you gonna give it to? That's gonna kill it like that. You got Roman getting ready to move on.
Mm-hmm.
He's talking about retirement and all this mess. I mean, which is cool. You need somebody else to step up.
And Bray is taking his time with his whole storyline.
Bray, I don't think Bray will ever get there.
Not no time soon.
No.
Because they slow dragging everything. But wow,
but
that's crazy. Like, you described what I was looking at, and I never really figured out.
He's selling merchandise, good.
Yep, he's selling out. You know
what I'm saying, man. Family, nice. It's a nice story behind it.
Yeah,
wrestling royalty,
grandson of a plumber.
Hey, he trying to do what his daddy didn't do. Talk about bringing old school belts back. Like, come on, it's traditional.
He that might be the biggest balance I've seen in a long time, yo.
Says the hater of the winged eagle. Shakes his head. No.
Oh no! I can't wait to hit Brother Brandon's take on that. But man,
either
that was amazing, yo. Can we hit the round of applause button for Brother Hugh? I just think he deserves a stand ovation for that one.
Bro, I'm up here trying to. I'm clipping it off. Like,
no, that was really, really good, man. Like that. I just had an epiphany. Go ahead, Brian H.
No, because I was gonna say to shout out to Brother Hugh because all earlier last year when Cody came back. All I kept hearing Hogan comparisons. They wanted their Hogan. He can be their Hogan. And it was like,
face.
Yeah, that white meat baby face, the American hero. And when you think about it, that's what Lex Luger was supposed to do.
Did he even catch that, bro?
Absolutely.
Crazy, yo.
Lex
That's
Luger
exactly he was supposed to be.
He was supposed to be.
They gave him everything, man. The bus, the whole tour, everything.
Brett,
man.
Wow.
Brett was put in that spot, when you really think about it, temporary to get the FBI and the feds off. Here comes Yokozuna, the almighty Yokozuna, the big heel.
The champion sumo.
Right. Yep. And then what they did, the Lex Express. Now, as a child, I'm sitting there like, yeah, let's go. You know, I'm rooting for Lex Luger.
Right.
I'm rooting for the good guys.
Nah,
it's funny you say that. You say that. You say that. I remember me and brother Corey was talking about this years ago. He was like, bro, as a child, I knew Luger wasn't the guy.
Sure, we all did.
And I was like one of the people that's disappointed in SummerSlam '93 with the balloons falling and all that. I mean, that'd be 30 years this year. Like, I was mad. I'm like, God dang it. And then, you know, they gave him another shot coming into WrestleMania 10. But dang, brother,
fell flat. That joint got outshined by freaking Bret Hart and Owen Hart, and then Shawn Michaels and freaking Razor Ramon. So what else in that card?
What else does that tell you? That the workhorses.
That's true.
That was the transitioning. And like you always said when we first started this, that was the time when Bret was reprogramming fans. This is when Bret and Shawn got along. Believe it or not, folks. Bret and Shawn used to be friends. That was around the time they were friends. And they was reprogramming the
kids
audience.
Playing with each other and everything, staying over each other's house. Yeah.
You know, so man.
Isn't that crazy? Even when they was beefing, like Shawn Michaels was still really like nice to his kids. They were like, UFC Beyond the Mat, he's backstage playing with his kids, like knowing he's about to screw him over.
Yeah.
So I just want to put that out there. That's how it's supposed to be, man. Leave the kids out of it. But
Shawn Michaels for you.
But yeah, man. Especially since he can't appear on Young Rock, they turned him into a black dude with a party. I say, yo, what the heck?
I'm saying, so like I'm Googling, I'm like, so I'm on the Reddit boards, bro. And I found it. I said, "Oh, that's Shawn Michaels."
Bro, at the end of the episode, I said, "Wait a minute."
when I saw the teaser with all the Attitude Era guys, I was like, "Is that supposed to be Scorpio?" Because you know Scorpio had the ponytail,
right?
Like not Scorpio from the Job Squad. That's not you know.
Shout out to Too Cold Scorpio. I just seen he gonna be at GCW for the Culture taking on Brian Keith.
Oh, nice. That's my guy. Too Cold was always good to us. Shout out to Too Cold. No, that miss. Mind blown. I appreciate that, man. This is why I love doing what we do, brother Brandon. Talk to your boys, man. See, brother Brandon's ready to put the icing on the cake, man.
Look at this face.
Come on, man. The Cody Rhodes era. Are you ready for it?
I'm gonna put a spin on it, right?
Oh, here we go.
So think about this. What does the WWE look without Roman?
Okay, got it. It's in my head. I'm looking for it.
All right. Can Cody fill in that blank on? But listen, can Cody fill in that blank on Raw and SmackDown with both titles and keep you just as interested as Roman does?
I think so.
Or does he because he's very one show centric, right? And they're letting you know they are building Raw around Cody, right?
Obviously, yes.
They're not building WWE around Cody. They're only building Raw. If you notice, the billboard came out about all the shows Cody's going to be on, and he's the frontliner, right? He's the headliner for all. Yep, USA. That's their Roman Reigns. So I don't know how they want to do it. I just have this weird feeling that Cody's going to change his tune because he's hinting he wants the Winged Eagle back. He's not saying I want a new belt.
No, don't.
And he only said it.
Leave it alone.
But this is what I'm afraid of in the Cody era. He kind of gets slighted and only takes the WWE Championship because you got to keep something on SmackDown.
I'm down with that.
You can't keep Cody on both shows because he is the face of, like Becky Lynch. Remember, we went through the same thing with her. She became the face of Monday Night Raw because Brock wasn't appearing.
Right.
She took every advertisement, every sticker, even the commercials.
She had Monday a run. She was literally the man. Yeah.
She was hand up. It was her.
Yeah,
Cody is
starting the show, closing shows. Right.
Yep. Cody can literally come out there and do the same thing Roman can, but only on Raw.
Okay.
That's fine. So then you just gotta break it. You just gotta break it up and Give it to somebody else.
But
somebody else.
Right.
But here's the thing:
Uh-huh.
did we do a Keith Lee thing where he wins both belts and relinquishes the one? Because remember, everybody was excited when Keith Lee was North American and NXT champion. The very next show, he relinquished the North American and said, give somebody else the opportunity. Cody being this homegrown hero, look, I'm home. I want to do the right thing. I beat the man. I dethroned the tribal chief. I want somebody else to have a chance at the Universal title. Or do you just only make it for the WWE Championship? Because let's be honest, do we really want Roman to drop the Universal belt? Because that's become Hogan. That's what I'm saying. That's become more important than it to be Gunther's reign, which quad is a kept, right?
Yeah, they definitely put it up there.
Because he passed Asuka a while ago. He passed Gunther. So why not let him pass Hogan? Say that he's the GOAT, or because how do you keep Roman strong and defeat at Mania?
And I think that's kind of the conversation we're probably going to have in a couple of weeks, to be honest with you, because now we have to figure out creative, right? Everything you said was perfect. It was perfect because once again, you brought up so many angles that most fans are not paying attention to because they just want to watch the wrestling, right?
And before you go on, think about this with Raw. Those Raw tag belts are going to come back to Raw sooner than later.
They have to.
It's only the bloodline is going to be shifted only to SmackDown because you can leave Kevin Owens on Raw, but Sammy and the bloodline will stay on SmackDown, and you gotta have something now. So good, okay.
I think I think that's an excellent point, and I think that has to do with this implosion with the bloodline. You know what I mean? We have to find some type of creative way, like you said, to separate these titles, because if they wanted to merge the titles into one, they would have done that already, right?
We would have had one championship.
Because they would only refer to them as the tag team champions, or they would only refer to them as the undisputed WWE champion. But no, they literally go out of the way to acknowledge both titles.
And we have a tournament for the SmackDown only.
Exactly. So it's
we had the Raw title match.
and I think that's we kind of see the setup for SmackDown in regards to the tag titles, and because there's dissension amongst the bloodline, whatever you do now is going to make any sense because you have a reason now. You know what I mean? You had this inner conflict for the last segment of the show that hopefully we can get into and not stay too long. And you can do the same thing on Raw with the Raw tag title. So now it's like, well, how do we do that for this one magnifico of a title, like you said, without it damaging the credibility of Cody Rhodes by not winning both at that time? Said, okay, well, you won one, but you didn't win all of them together. So I don't know, man. I think that's the fun part about it all, but I'm definitely looking forward to I'm with you, Brother Brandon. I trust Triple H, and I'm having so much fun not trying to figure it out. I'm like, oh, let me see what they're going to do. And come on, at this age, that's the type of excitement.
Nobody wants to see Roman 2 nights because that's going to diminish one of the titles. Nobody wants to see a triple threat match because in a triple threat match, if Brian Waters pins Dwayne for the first fall, he's not going to get the celebration. But then Hugh pins you for the second fall. Now you look like the worst person, and then Dwayne Hugh's the one celebrating because he got the last pin.
Well, that was the issue Daniel Bryan had when he was in that triple threat match with Edge and Roman Reigns. He's like, I didn't need to be in that match. You know what I mean? As much as I enjoyed him in the match, he felt like I just felt like I was just in there to kind of elevate the situation, but I didn't need to be in that match.
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to it, man. We don't have enough time to even dive into creative. We'll probably do it in a realm after the show. Corey Graves after the bell. You know what I
mean? Realm after dark.
Right, Realm after dark.
Like y'all gonna be mad when Roman walk away both nights with both belts.
Hey, man, I don't think he's gonna lose, bro.
I think he has to.
I learned the most about Thanos through Roman Reigns' run.
Wow. That's a lot. You hear this guy, Brennan? Did you hear him? Did you hear this guy?
He said, I was under.
He mentioned a non-wrestling property.
I don't know if I'm proud or insulted. I'm trying to figure out.
That's why I'm like, I don't know how to take it in. Like, so what do you think, Brother Brandon? I'm gonna follow you.
Right. I'm like, I think that he was trying to act like he was in the cool kids club. He was trying. I'm like, about Thanos.
Brandon, are you buying this, Brandon? He sounds like he knows what he's talking about. Like, wait a minute, is he joking?
Now, what does Thanos have? That'll really get. What part of Thanos are you talking about? You talking about this?
No, the fist. The glove.
Yeah, he's not a cool guy.
I don't know.
He almost had him.
I heard about the snap. I fell asleep.
Yes,
by
exactly.
That
Lord have mercy. Oh God, we
No,
got
it's
down.
okay. He was
Okay.
almost there, but that
He
leads.
tried.
Listen, I appreciate the effort. That was really good, though. I appreciate it, Brian H. But that leads us into our last segment as we kind of close the show down.
I
no,
think
Raj,
that
it's
streak
not
is too
happening.
important, man.
Man, man,
that streak too important.
But see, here's the best part about the whole situation with the bloodline. When you look at the like, you can do a whole like essay on like the evolution of the bloodlines, just their story in general.
Oh my gosh!
And you look at for like where it kind of started, and then its history behind it with like Paul Heyman and the Wild Samoans, and you know his interaction with their family for so many years, and just where it is now. This has got to be one of the most. I don't remember such a dramatic storyline that actually worked in all of. I don't want to say all the entertainment, but it's not too much out there right now as far as content that's putting on a better story with so many twists, turns, ups and downs that's pulling on our emotions. And then the wrestling is almost like secondary to it, you know? And I'm just like, man, we've been looking at chinks in the armor. Empires are created, but they're also meant to fall, right? And we literally been watching the dynasty of the bloodline kind of rise, and we're seeing it. We're seeing some chinks in the armor, right? You're only as strong as your weakest link, and now we are finally starting to say, like, okay, I think this will play into the overall landscape of these titles on both sides: tag titles, Universal, WWE Championship. But Brian H, man, how did you? First of all, let me ask you this, so the fans can hear this. I want this on the record. Did you what you saw, how everything played out? It's too much to get into. Go watch the Royal Rumble. You know what we're talking about. Is that what you expected to see at the Royal Rumble? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't see any of that coming, and it's not a lot that I don't see coming. Like I knew I had a general idea of what was going to happen, right? That's how we usually talk. We usually give us we don't know how it's going to. The execution of it's never clearly defined, right?
Exactly.
I didn't see that coming. I was like, wait, what? Just like we knew somebody was going to turn on somebody, but the way it was done. Oh my God. I'm going out. So Brian,
I was in denial. I did not want to see the bloodline breakup or happen. After that beautiful story at the Survivor Series, I didn't want to see nothing go wrong with Roman, Sami Zayn. So no, I didn't see it happening. And you know, because of course we watch wrestling, right? So we painting all these different types of scenarios. You know, one scenario I heard that Roman could win the championship. I mean, Sami could win the Royal Rumble, and then be convinced to go after the title in Montreal. We knew Montreal was in the backyard, right? Yeah. So knowing that and seeing Brother Hugh said this last week, Sami Zayn's on the poster. He's on the chair. So you're thinking, okay, maybe. But for it to happen that way, I didn't see it coming. I did not see it coming. Because I figured, I mean, it's the Royal Rumble, right? Yes.
Right.
Matt Hardy betrayed Jeff Hardy at the Royal Rumble. You know, sometimes the Royal Rumble, some big moments happen at WrestleMania to close a story, as opposed to making that hard left turn or right turn to get to another part of the story. So,
did you see what he did with the figures?
Huh?
We're just going to ignore what he did with the figures,
bro. Nobody noticed it all this time. It's been its way for like 20 minutes.
I'm like, nobody's going to talk about.
He getting his Breakfast Club on.
Just
Brother Roger just sending us random
stuff going in the background.
Wow. Right. But yeah, I wasn't expecting it, man. And Jey Uso.
Hey, bro.
I felt for him because everybody keeps saying, okay, yeah, he put blood out, right?
Right.
I don't think it's that simple.
And that's we know it's not though. Like it's family, bro.
Bro, bingo. So here's what I kept saying when I first saw it. I was like, this brother is he's distraught because the person who he stood up for, the person who he almost took another whooping for, betrayed him.
Right.
But he was so distraught that he couldn't touch him. You ever heard the saying, your parents be so mad, like, I'm so mad at you, I can't beat you because I kill you.
Yeah,
That
bro.
was Jay. And Jimmy was like, wait, what? Oh, no, we got to handle business. Solo, all you got to do is snap the finger and he ready to fight.
Right.
Solo!
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, man. And then Jay, he's just destroyed. Like, he needed that time. We seen him do this before.
Mm-hmm.
There's been so much stuff going on, but y'all remember when Jimmy wouldn't fall in line, Jay left, said, no, y'all figure this out. And then Roman and Jimmy was going back and forth and saying, no, what's going, this is your fault. So, man, this is
crazy because it seems like I think differently. But
Come on, brother.
it seems like the whole time this whole storyline hasn't been about Sammy. It hasn't been about Roman.
That's the crazy.
It's been about Jey Uso since day one.
This is wrestling we're watching, bro. This is not a freaking movie and soap operas.
The best storyline in history of wrestling.
Think about it. Brian just alluded to it. Like, look, Jay went to bat for Sammy. But this is the first thing that happened. Jay didn't like Sammy because Jay had to go through. Jay had to go through hell.
That's
just
true.
to get accepted in his own family.
Twice.
And Sammy walks along, not even blood.
Mm-hmm.
And he's accepted. That's why he disregarded him at the beginning. So then he gained that love for him.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the end of the day, it's like he's disagreeing with Roman because he don't like the way he's like, he don't like the decisions that he's making.
He's being a tyrant.
Right. And then Sammy, Shades of the Shield, by the way, he turns around and stabs Roman in the back. I get it. I get why. But I mean, it's like, all right, so now I'm conflicted. What should I do? Sammy is now my main man.
Yeah.
Roman is my blood. But he's acting like an a-hole right now.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just going to walk out.
Yeah. He and that's exactly what he looked conflicted, like he didn't know what to do. Like he was just like he went through such like a vast array of emotions just from that moment. Yeah. But I'm gonna go ahead and let you finish your point because I'm
finished.
Okay, so I didn't want to cut you off if you had more to do, but brother Brandon, you add your 2 cents to this, brother, please, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna drop mine and then we're gonna wrap this up.
So this one for that Thanos reference over there. I'm gonna throw him another reference to see if he really paid attention. On Earth 1610, I envisioned Roman turning on Sammy, not the other way around.
Wow.
And hear me out. So remember when they were standing there?
I gotta hear this one.
The chair, he kept saying, "It's beneath you," right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How many times have Sammy been trying to tell Roman what to do in this whole storyline? So that could have made him snap, and Jay got between them and said, "No, stop."
Huh?
Because how many times did Jay, and like he said in this storyline, it's been about him, right? Remember when he yelled Solo, he jumped up and stopped him, and then Roman saying, "You trying to stop me again? You know what happened last time." And then Roman I just wanted Roman just to, like, I'm glad the crowd was booing him because they got the response, but I wanted Roman to snap like he did on Seth, like he's done on everybody. Yes. Remember when he snapped on Seth? I wanted Roman to snap on Sammy, so that way we have our hero of Sami Zayn, and then Jay tried to help him, but you know
That's
what happened
hero.
last time. You know what I'm talking about.
Hey, my hero.
But you get what I'm saying? Like, clearly the crowd was behind Sammy. Like, he got beat. Roman didn't touch him. That's the part that got me. Like, I wanted Roman to hit him with the chair. Like, you keep telling me what's not what to do. Who do you think you are? And then Jay trying to stop Roman. So that way Jimmy can be like, hold on. And Solo like, wait a minute, what's going on? So you really have a dissension. Because like I told you, I kind of, in the back of my mind on Earth 1610, I want to see
Earth 1610.
I want to see Jay. No, Oos, these me and Sammy tag belts. We defended these last We kept these titles.
Oh crap! I just remembered he did defend them joints last week on
I
SmackDown.
want in my weird twisted mind because if you notice, and I'm just Triple H didn't condition me now. Sammy was holding one set, Jay was holding the other set.
Bro, there he go again, yo.
I'm just waiting for him to. I really want on SmackDown for him to come out and be like, "No, me and Sammy Gray go defend these titles. We won these last."
It
Wow.
You get what I'm saying, or something, because we might not see Jay until the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
Yeah.
Because remember last time he had a falling out. He go find him. Where's my right hand man?
Right.
But it's kind of crazy because now I can't even wear the shirt that I brought. I actually brought Jimmy's shirt, the nobody's. But now he is. I'm like, dang, you made that whole shirt. Now you are because you're the first one to jump in. You and Solo.
Family. That's what
Why that
supposed
man
to
had to
do.
yell it? Why that man had to yell that like that? He was standing right there.
He was pissed.
Right. He was like 2 feet away.
He wouldn't let him know.
And did you see Solo? He looked like
He looked at him like, bro,
right,
like I'm right here, bro.
Like, damn, all right, I got it.
He might flip on Roman later, like a dog turning on his master.
Man,
I mean, it would definitely jumpstart his Solo career. I know, brother. He's been pushing for Gunther versus Solo.
Yeah, I like that though. I like that.
Oh,
But it-
not
man.
yet, not yet.
Look at Brandon. He's like, wait.
No, not yet. I want a Gunther guy
Not
go
yet?
through other people's face. Not yet.
Yeah, I think like Solo can't lose right now. Gunther's too hot. Like,
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You don't think
That's who would be.
you don't think Gunther would do
believable.
the job though?
But
he would, but like you can make somebody else with Gunther. So like it's got to be
Yeah.
the next guy. Like whoever he loses to is either already established or he's up next, because it's like that's what you want though. You want to build one guy so he can build up that title. So when he hands it to the next guy, it's like Miz. When Miz got the IC title, you know what I mean? He made it relevant again.
And
So
he
then
built
whoever
other
beat
people.
Miz
We
was the
just
main
talked
man.
about that. Yeah.
So
But see, I think that Solo got too many dance partners that he still can go with before he even gets to him. Because like you bring,
slow
I'm
build.
going to say this again. If you bring Mello to SmackDown, there's his rival right there to help get the audience on Mello, because their NXT matches, I was pleasantly surprised that they were as good as they were, but that's a way. And then you got another person, you got a Ricochet, you got all these other dance partners he gets in. Shucks, and never mind. I'll talk about you offline.
Man, we gonna get Jay and Roman at WrestleMania.
No, come on now. It's
No.
a Hollywood match. It's a Hollywood. I'll say this though. Man, here's how flat it is for me. I was almost sure that Sami Zayn was always plotting. Sami Zayn was always plotting on Roman Reigns. Him and Kevin Owens in cahoots with each other, and Sami Zayn, and he just got caught. That was flat me, right? But what I saw instead was I saw someone that says, "Look, I know I'm not with Kevin Owens anymore. I'm with you, right? That's my guy. I don't have any beef with him, like, but if he's against us, but I'm with you guys. We don't have to do this." He showed mercy to somebody that he genuinely loves, even though Kevin Owens turned on him every time, which Kevin Owens still might do. Wouldn't that be the ultimate heel turn?
I see where you're going. This is the point I've been waiting for somebody to make all week.
If Kevin Owens wants to turn heel again, trust me, all he has to do is turn on. All he has to do is turn on Sami Zayn to help him get like he's heat seeker. But I'm looking at him and he's like, "Look, we don't got to do this." And for some reason, the person responsible for Roman Reigns' reaction towards Sami Zayn, there's an obvious distrust for Sami Zayn. Even as an honorary Uso, we saw the seeds kind of being planted in the Survivor Series War Games match, right? Celebration. What do we see? Roman looking dead into the side of the face of Sami Zayn, right? He's accused, put on trial. There's these things. Jey Uso still kind of touchy. They're still not sure whether they can trust him or not. There's just this obvious distrust of Sami Zayn no matter what he does. And then you have a guy like Jey Uso that finally comes around and says, "Nah, this dude's been taking bullets for us, man. You don't treat people like that." And then Jey Uso remembers, "You know what? You treated me the same way. You've been doing that since we was kids." The bloodline was forced upon them because Roman Reigns decided this is what's best for the family. You're going to get in line whether you want to or not. Like, let's not forget, like it was like some gang initiation stuff. Like Roman Reigns had to jump Jey Uso in the bloodline. Like he said, I'm going to beat you up and you're going to join me.
And when you didn't, I'm going to use your brother as bait.
Come on now. That's the same guy that's
quit because I got your brother in the chokehold.
Jey Uso is the same person that told Roman, I hate you. It's because he hated the fact that he was putting him in that situation. You're using our family. He's like, no, you don't hate me. This is what's best for you. You know it. He's like, bro, I'm sick of you doing this, bro. You've been doing this since we was kids. And Jerry comes back to look, man, I don't care what he say. We not kids no more, bro. And then like Brother Brandon said, he used his brother, baited him in. What did he do? He beat those guys into submission.
Mm-hmm.
That's some jail stuff. Like he beat those dudes in for like, and in that moment, it seemed to me that when he saw what was happening to Sami Zayn after the bullets he took, Jay was like, man, that's the same bullets I took, man. That's the same situation I was in. And I'm the guy that distrusted him most. And I see that he's taking all these bullets for us. Just for you to sit there and do this again. I never thought I would see Roman Reigns force Sami Zayn's hand into turning on him. Like he forced him out to it. Like I thought it just at the end of the day, Sami Zayn's like, nope, I'm hip. Y'all, I got to get y'all before you got me. Flat. Me, wrestling fan, flat. But to take it to that level, I was like, oh man, you just took the wind out of my sails because you felt bad for Sammy because it's like, yo, he's like, yo, leave him alone, man. You're gonna kill him. He's like, nah, Sammy, we're gonna kill him. And I want you to do it. He said, this is beneath you. He's like, you're right, you do it. I was like, come on, man. This is what happens in real life. This is what happens with gangs. Like, if you're not familiar with gang culture, unfortunately, this is the type of behavior that follows. You're gonna find yourself in initiation situations like this. You know what I mean? It's not an uncommon thing when it comes to this type of, you know, to these type of situations where you have these families, where you have these gangs, where these crime organizations, whatever you want to call it. It's a very similar theme that we see in different stories that we're watching play out in the WWE with this whole bloodline storyline. And Sami Zayn's like caught in the middle of it. And I'm just like, man, I didn't think that Roman would be the one forcing him to turn on him because of a natural just distrust. Whatever has happened, Roman Reigns was the one that said, you're not guilty. Roman Reigns was pushing Sami Zayn to be something that he wasn't. Look, man, let's just move on with the bloodline. Kevin Owens is done. Leave him alone. He's like, nah, I want you to kill him. You know what I mean? You know, I'm not going to shoot him. You shoot him. You put the gun in his hand. You know what I mean? Like, now you pull the trigger. And he's like, come on, man. And Jey Uso saw that. It was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, we can't do this. But then he looked at Roman like, yo, you put me in the exact same situation, bro. I'm tired of this, man. It's not right. He like whatever moral compass he has inside himself. He watched that situation go down. He decided for himself that he was going to turn his family. I'm out. He didn't fight them. He didn't turn on Roman. He didn't jack him. Even Jimmy Uso, he didn't touch his brother. He looked to the side and then dropped Sami Zayn immediately. And because of that dramatic conflict, he walked out and said, I'm out. And like Brian, they said, I don't think it's that easy. Oh, no, you're not out. You're going to get in line. And I think that adds a complete different wrinkle because now if he does stick around, there's no distrust. I mean, there is distrust, excuse me. There's no trust between the bloodline now, man. And I think long-term, gentlemen, as we wrap this up, I think that is going to be the ultimate play with whatever creative or stipulation that's going to cause those titles to be split for Roman Reigns. And then who knows what comes after that, man. Then you can still carry SmackDown with the story of the bloodline, the same way you carried it with Jey Uso and Roman Reigns in the pandemic.
You know one of the things when you brought up everything as far as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, the one thing I thought about, because like I said, everybody's talking about the bloodline. I mean, you know, Sami leaving. And the thing is, it wasn't like he wanted it. To me, he didn't want to do it. He just had to. And what I saw was a man who's looking at another man who was his best friend. He's thinking about, all right, this man got kids. I know his kids. I can't let, regardless of what, I can't let it end this way.
Right.
And I'm sitting there as I'm watching. I was like, wow, like because you could even see the reaction in his face because it wasn't a smirk at all.
Right.
A smirk is when you mean to turn, you know, like Rollins had like a smirk on his face, sort of, when Rollins hit Roman with the chair. Sammy had that look like, no, because he made me do this. I didn't want to have to. And that's the thing. Up. And yeah. And it was really just like he had to save him.
He looked like he had a he looked like he had a flashback.
Well, because Roman definitely looked like he had a flashback too.
He did. Speaking of Roman looking like that, can we just applaud Roman? Can we hit the round of applause button for Roman's facial expression when he got hit with that chair? Let's give it up to Roman.
Remember when he couldn't act?
He was so flat like this.
Yeah.
No facial expression, just like this every time. Yeah. I'm the big dog now.
This is my ring.
This is my yard now.
But let me ask you this question.
Yes,
and
sir.
You know what? I keep saying I trust Triple H because he keeps.
It still trips me out to hear you say you trust anything wrestling related. So I'm happy for you, brother Brandon.
Right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Because during prior eras, and I'm not going to say who because everybody's in control of creative,
Right.
but they wouldn't acknowledge things. Triple H is doing a good job at acknowledging and tying up those things. So you're like, oh, like even when he resolved the issue of Dexter Lumis and Indy Hartwell, and he resolved it within NXT. So it's like, well, this guy's on Raw. Your husband's there. I thought he left you, but he resolved that at NXT. He resolved the whole Alexa Bliss. She said, look, I was crazy. I went to counseling. I did this. I'm straight. I'm good. I'm still crazy. And the thing is, like, I'm glad that commentary keeps saying Kevin Owens has turned his back on Sami Zayn numerous times. So now Sammy don't need Kevin, and I hope they don't push them back because it's always, as soon as Kevin's with somebody, all right, count the days, he's going to turn, kind of like that Randy Orton thing.
Bro,
so I hope
he turns on Sami Zayn, it's going to be terrible. So if he did a Kevin,
but that's why I said keep him away from each other. That's why I said put him back on Raw and let the Bloodline live on SmackDown because Kevin Owens, you're done with the storyline. You're done. You had the title shot. You did what you needed to do. Go back to Raw and stay there because I don't think Triple H would do a thing where, oh, let's put them back together because how many times did Sasha and Bayley turn? Well, how many times did they become rivals to friends to rivals again? That it's like even to the point. It's like if Sasha came back tomorrow, would she go after Bayley? Is that the moment we want to see, or do we want to see her turn? Because we know one of them going to turn on the other. So now, why keep doing that? That's some Vince McMahon cutting, copy paste. Every tag team don't have to split, and you don't need them even. Don't even let them be a tag team. Like I know the reports is going around. Oh, they're the ones that take the tag belts. Why?
I thought that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Kevin Owens just going to powerbomb them through the thing and then walk off, and then the title is going to be vacant. Why put us through that?
Yeah, whatever you need a heel turn, you know what Kevin Owens is going to do. Package powerbomb, and then crazy part is in the midst of all of that, Sami Zayn is the one that kind of gets over because it's the sympathy factor goes through the roof. Like it's already there now, right? I mean, you couldn't tell me that Sami Zayn wasn't plotting on the bloodline with Kevin Owens, but now you're like, oh, I feel sorry for the guy. And as Brian Nash has been, I mean, as Brian Nash has been saying for a while now, his face is being plastered all over Elimination Chamber. I don't know what that means, but I do think that Sami Zayn does get his one-on-one match with Roman Reigns.
Roman's gonna beat that man.
He is, but I think it's some sort of stipulation to it. Like, look, if Sami Zayn, if you can beat me, then Jey Uso, we let you go. If not, you right back. You stay here. So you're gonna put your life in his hands. You know what I mean? Like, I'm telling you, this is where my mind is going because it's like I recognize that I don't believe Sami is going to be in that top spot for WrestleMania. But if you look at what Sami Zayn is doing already compared to what he was doing before, he is already just in a completely different stratosphere. He's such a made man. And for him, he's finally in the same space as the Kevin Owens and the Finn Balor. You know, that kind of that group that came up NXT. It seemed like Sami Zayn kept getting derailed because he was there first, but he had that injury.
Yeah,
he got John Cena United States Challenge, and then he tore his shoulder, and it seemed like up and down he comes back. Vince has him has this conspiracy gimmick, and then eventually he just finds a way to make himself relevant and get over it. It just, as Kevin Owens said, the ability to be on that big stage and show that much talent. But man, only time will tell. Like I said, we had plenty of shows to continue to keep to dig and dive into this whole one of the most amazing storylines I've ever seen or been a part of in all of professional wrestling. As Brian says, it's probably the greatest storyline. I think it's the greatest storyline since like Austin McMahon. because it has that level of depth. I don't remember something.
Has it been 2 years?
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like, you know, it's to me that this kind of started when Roman there was still TVs in the audience. You know, it was still, you know, the Thunderdome. So, but yeah, good brothers. Another excellent show. We appreciate everybody that hung out with us tonight. We thank you for your 2 cents and your comments in the chat, man. We had a good time. We appreciate everybody that all the other wrestling media correspondents and personalities for stopping by and, you know, being a part of the show as well. We definitely want to show you nothing but love and respect. We appreciate you guys. And yeah, gentlemen, I think the road to WrestleMania is officially upon us. And for the first time in a long time, I'm really, really excited about this journey from start to finish, right? This is going to be really fun. I think the quality of our shows is starting to show because of the people that are kind of watching and participating. And I think we all should just take this ride together. So I appreciate you, brothers. Brother Brandon, always a pleasure. Your insight is just impeccable. It's second to none. You know, it's you are who you are. I'm glad that you are back in this space with us once again, because you know that's how I know the product is in a good space, because you have no bones about saying nope, I'm gone. Nope,
I'm in my coma.
I'll take my brother Brandon will take his $13 and start hitting the streets and start going to indie shows. And I'm telling you, he's done it before. He has gone on tour. He has gone on tour. Not watch nothing, bro. Not watch nothing main event, nothing, and Brother Brandon gave me a full bag of like a full grocery bag full of independent DVDs. They were so independent, they didn't even work in my DVD player. Half of them was like, oh, so when I say he hits indies, bro, no jokes about it.
He gets down.
Bro, half of them I tried to play, they said, will not read disc. I said, dang, he went to an indie of all indies. But so I'm happy to have you in this space with us once again, man. Of course, Brian H, Brother Hugh. You know, the good, you know. So
did you notice all my Cody belts behind me?
It was so subtle. It was so subtle yet obvious. And I was trying not to, like, I'm trying to look at the camera and I'm like this, looking at the screen, like, okay, that's TNT, that's that one, that's Wrestling Wrealm, that's tag belts. Look at Brian H. There's IC titles.
Yeah, see the TNT.
Look at that. TNT
this is why he's the belt king.
He's the belt king.
Not no others. It is him. It is Brandon Guy. Brandon the guy.
It is Brandon Guy.
I had to shift them around so you can have all Cody belts.
Beef.
Wait a minute.
Look at that. Look, just slight to the left. Slight to the left. Ooh, there we go.
I forgot Cody had that one.
He definitely had. He had United States Championship run. I knew you and IWGP United States Championship.
That's what he had with NWA champion.
Did he beat Omega?
Yeah.
No, he beat Juice.
Yeah.
Juice. Yes. So who beat him
before he was rock hard?
Juice, and then was that when Mox beat him? Because remember Mox and
before he
Murder
was
Hawk
hard.
kept trading.
Oh yeah,
I was going to ignore it. They kept trading belts because one of them couldn't make it over there. So it's like, hey, I can't be there. Oh, I'm gonna drop the belt to you. You go over there. I can't make it. You nothing.
Rock hard, Juice Robinson is my guy. No, it's Cody has an amazing title run, and I think he's about to have one of his most amazing title runs, if not his most amazing title run, coming up soon, man. But I think we've burnt the midnight oil long enough. Appreciate you, Brother Brad. I know I tried not to keep you up, man, but I just couldn't help myself today, sir. So sorry.
Feel like it.
Yeah, this as Brian says, Wednesdays are for wrestling. So
Wednesdays are for wrestling.
But also, before we get out of here, Brother Brandon has a new show that's debuting. It's been greenlit for the Wrestling Wrealm Network. It's adding to our channel as he gets more involved and kind of getting back in his space. Do you want to say anything about it right now, or should I wait?
Talked to Brother Hugh the other day about it. It's going to be a combination of things. So all I'm gonna say is, if you like belts, tune in.
Okay, see, there we go.
If you want to learn about belts or you want to hear a funny story, you can learn both at the same time. So, because every belt has a story. That's all I'm gonna say. All
right, Brother Hugh, are you producing his show?
Hey, you might as well say so.
I like it. This is what I'm talking about, man. This is what the Wrestling Wrealm is about, man. I think that I tell people all the time, the one thing I love about our brand in general is that we dive into multiple versions of the community as far as wrestling. You know what I mean? That's why I got these guys hanging up here, You know, that's why Brother Brandon is diving into his space.
Hey man, I did not notice they were up there the whole time.
Bro, I moved him like
That's
3
what I
times.
said. Nobody-
Brandon's
I
the
said
only one that
nobody's
noticed
gonna
it. Somebody in the chat was like,
nobody's gonna notice.
I noticed he was.
that.
I noticed he was moving because I heard the goddamn microphone. I'm sitting
fault,
there thinking like,
I should have hit the mute button. Next time I'll hit the mute button.
hey,
was
that's.
like,
I mean, I'm good. I'm here, but that's how I noticed.
I didn't realize I didn't hear it, so I was like, oh shoot, my bad.
So, brothers, I will tell you this about the upcoming the belt show.
Yo,
It will be
Cody's
named.
belts. Nobody's gonna top that. Like no, I gotta clip that off of social media, and that's gonna be a flex for you. But and just casually,
that's my favorite right there.
He
Look at that
definitely
beauty.
just casually picked it up like
Signed by Nick Aldis,
The guy he beat for the title.
Ooh.
and signed by Jeff Jarrett.
Now you gotta
Okay,
get Cody.
yeah.
Where's he gonna go?
Who? Nick Aldis?
Aldis.
On Twitch to live stream do Q&As. Q&As for SmackDown. Then he know that he does like live Q&As watching SmackDown.
He's gonna make sure Mickey's good with her belt.
There you go.
He's good right now. But I'm thinking about it, and I would need some of our fans' input. If you wanted to do a Wrestling Realm belt giveaway, that's going to probably kick off the show. So
what?
It'll be a countdown to it. So I'm trying to align it with certain things, but it might be a Wrestling Realm belt or a belt of your choosing giveaway. So,
oh wow, this big time! I'm looking forward to that, man. That's gonna be exciting. So this is why we do what we do, man. But I put this brand up against a lot of people's brands. Like I said, a lot of people sit up there and talk wrestling all day. That's cool. There's a lot of us that do that, but we're kind of expanding. We're kind of diving into the different aspects of the community, like I said, and we're just kind of doing what we love to do, and we're just using this Wrestling Realm umbrella to house all those things. So we here. We appreciate you guys joining us. Also follow us on all social media platforms at Wrestling Realm. Subscribe to our Patreon channel, Twitch, and YouTube channel at The Wrestling Realm, as Brother Brandon casually shines up. Beautiful. That's supposed to be. That's supposed to be
Uncle Raj, man.
No, I ignored it. I didn't even look at it. I didn't sell it. I was not going to sell it. I was not selling it. Brother Brandon, I would say he was shining up that 10 pounds of gold, but that thing's like 20 pounds. That thing's far
heavy. That
pounds.
Bad boy.
That thing is. I need that title too. That's one of my favorites, and he's got one of my favorite NWA champions. Ironically, is Jeff Jarrett, literally just from that TNA era.
That man was giving me a lesson on belts and whatnot. And I was like, "Dag, man, I'm gonna have to start investing now."
You listen to me. You go to that rabbit hole with Brother Brandon if you want to, man. He gets me every time, yo. Like I'll be late going back to work, and I'll be like, "Nah, hold on, we got to get this figured out." And and then when I get back on the job, I'm not focusing on nothing I'm supposed to be doing. Right? I'm looking at belts and different comparisons and all kind of stuff, and I'm just like, so. But yeah, fellas,
he's gonna be mad when Cody bring back that winged eagle.
Nah, please.
Is it Shotty here, Brother here? Does it get a preview? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that French terry cloth. Look at that.
God damn, that hurt my retinas.
Cost him $100.
Yeah, they're right there.
Look at that. Brother, he had to put his shades back on. Good brother. Any last words for me? Vamonos. Any last words? Anybody?
Cody
man.
WWE champion.
You said what?
Cody Rhodes will be WWE champion.
Oh yeah, it's inevitable. I'm excited.
I can't wait to see that live performance at WrestleMania.
As long as it's an entrance.
Oh yeah, that's
I don't even know. No, he said live performance.
Right by downstate.
I'm sorry, I
right?
meant his entrance. Yeah, his entrance.
Downstate does his music. Yeah.
Triple H is gonna have him. He's gonna come through on like a tank or something that's gonna be floating through the air. You know how Triple H love him entrances.
Yeah, that's how it was last year. Everybody had a difference, and then there was one. I forgot who it was that they didn't get to use their entrance. So I saw them like practice, but because of the time, that it was whoever Sheamus and them, whatever match that the New Day was in.
They got bumped.
And I don't think they paid the people for day 2.
Oh shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what's crazy? If you go back and watch Rhea Ripley's story, she messed up her own entrance, but you didn't know it until she pointed it out.
Wow.
When she did her WrestleMania moment, she was like, she couldn't believe when you go back and watch it, you'll see where she messed up. Because I didn't even realize it, because I was just like, oh, look, she got the whole band there playing, but just as a side note.
Yeah, but shoot, yeah. Final thoughts. One, happy birthday to my daughter. Shout out to her.
Happy birthday, Ari.
Like 8 now. Sheesh.
Oh
But then yeah, y'all follow me at Brian H. Waters on all social media platforms. But follow the Wrestling Realm because there's a lot of clips from this show and other shows. So make sure y'all check that out.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Little assist.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, follow us at Wrestling Realm on all social media platforms, man. And yeah, get these numbers up. Tell your friends to subscribe to the YouTube channel. We appreciate it. Appreciate y'all. Wednesdays for wrestling. So yeah, make sure y'all follow me for all the links to everything.
That's right. You heard it. You heard it. I couldn't have said it better myself. So, brothers, until next time, we'll catch the folks later. Join us same bat time, same bat place, Brother Hugh.
Just make sure you oil your guns when you bring them out. You don't want to be looking like you've been elbow dropping sheetrock.
Hey, yeah. On that note.
Water.